Welcome to our channel. My name is Tracy. I'm the keeper of the home here at 4D Farms, where we are all about home, family, and living this life that God has so graciously blessed us with. Our channel is full of content that I hope encourages you, inspires you, and most of all helps you on your journey. Be sure to hit like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you will get notified every time new content is uploaded. We hope to see you in each and every video. Oh, y'all, do we have a fun project for y'all today and for us too. Y'all, first of all, I want to say I'm having to do a voiceover because when me and my granddaughters get in this kitchen, we sing, we laugh, we play. We wear princess crowns. We do everything. We wear dresses, okay? And we have fun, and it was loud, and I'm teaching, and we're working together. And occasionally, guys were coming in and out of the house, getting water constantly out of the refrigerator and the ice maker because they're doing fencing outside. And it was just loud, and I just need to do a voiceover on this one. And I'm going to walk you through this. Y'all saw the title of the video, Rainbow Bread. I said in the video right before this one that me and the granddaughters were going to do a fun project next, and this is it. All right, I am teaching and we are getting our dough together, and y'all, I am using the same recipe that I used in the video right before this one, making the homemade bread, and we're going to be making the dough just like in the last recipe, okay? I'm guiding, I'm instructing, they're having to adjust their stools and everything, and this is their two stools. They know where they are, they know to get them out and how to unfold them, put them back up. That is their stools, and you don't touch their stools or you're going to hear from them, trust me. So I'm using the same recipe that I used in the video right before this one. If I can remember, I will put the exact same recipe and ingredients and instructions in the description box below, but if I forget, y'all, please forgive me. Go to the previous video before this one and it's in there. This is going to wind up making 2 sandwich loaves just like it did in the last one, but there is a big step in this process, and two things I want y'all to notice in this video. The one, I'm using the same recipe, but when this dough comes out, I want y'all to see this. I'm having to have her go get a different stool because she has grown so much and she's so tall. When she stands on that stool, it makes her too tall, so she's going to switch stools right quick. So, back to what I was saying, I want y'all to see when this dough gets made up and after it goes through the resting period and that first rise, how this dough turned out compared to when the dough turned out in the video before this one. This goes to show y'all that your baking days are going to be different, and how the weather and the humidity impacts your bread baking. Because this was a different day, I think the weather was just a little bit different this day, but y'all, I didn't do anything different in the mixing of the ingredients, the amount of the ingredients, or the amount of time that we mixed and kneaded as I did in that first video. This is going to prove to y'all that your baking days are going to be different. The time of the year is going to impact. The weather is going to impact. The humidity. I cannot stress that enough. So like I said in that last video, don't fret. If you wind up having a sticky dough, you can fix it when you're getting it out on your board and getting ready to knead it and shape your loaf. Just add some more flour. When this dough came out, y'all, it turned out perfect. So see, I didn't do anything any different just other things came into play on this day. And I think maybe in the last video I might have rushed it a little bit, but I used the same recipe, didn't change anything, didn't do anything any different. So y'all will see how this dough turns out. So y'all, I have taught, when I get my granddaughters in the kitchen, y'all, I am teaching home economics, I'm teaching life skills, I'm teaching them how to cook and bake, things that's going to carry them into their homes when they get married and take care of their families. I did the same thing with our boys. Our boys got in the kitchen with us. I taught them how to cook and bake, so when they moved out, even before they got married and got wives, at least they could learn how to bake some essential things for themselves so they wouldn't starve to death, okay? Mama couldn't follow them out in the real world. I had to teach them, okay? So guys need to learn how to cook too. And y'all, they have turned out to be excellent cooks, grill masters. Okay, you see this dough now? See how it's forming the dough ball and it's coming together, it's pulling away from the sides. There you go. That's what you're wanting to look for. I'm sorry if you wanted me to walk you through the ingredients and how to do this. This video I'm just including in the bread making series so you can see the difference in how these two breads turned out on two totally different days. We got it all mixed up. It's went through the kneading process. We're going to cover this up with a towel and we're going to let it go through the resting period and that first rise. So that turned out different, y'all. But, okay, now we have let it, y'all, see, doubled in size. Here we go. And y'all, we got smacky going on here. We're eating snacks. I'm just going to get this out of the mixing bowl. Y'all, I'm sorry I did not tilt the camera down to where you could see this coming out, but y'all, the gluten worked just fine. It's sticking together, but you are still going to have to take a dough scraper and get it out of your mixing bowl. But y'all, this was not a goopy ball of dough. This turned out in a well-formed gluten dough. I don't even think I had to use any flour, y'all. I'm sorry I didn't tilt it down, but when I hand the dough to the granddaughters, you will see it's not sticky. It's not sticking to their hand. It's not sticking to my counter. This day turned out perfect. Okay, so there. That did, you know, every day and every batch of dough you make is not going to come out perfect every single time. But what I've got to do next, y'all, is when making rainbow bread, you've got to divide your big dough ball down into 6, okay? Because we're going to have 6 different colors. Y'all see that dough ball right there? Turned out perfect. All right, we've got to have 6 different colors. So I've got to divide this into 6 different dough balls. That's what I'm going to be using my dough scraper for. And excuse me, y'all, I'm going to make sure each dough ball is the same. Now, y'all, I don't do this on a scale. I just eyeball it. And they're wanting to tear into these so bad, but I'm trying to teach them patience. And I'm telling them, give me just a second. I got to divide this into 6 different dough balls. Now, I'm going to tell y'all a story right quick while I'm getting to this part. The last time we made rainbow bread, it was when the pandemic hit in 2020. And I had a teenager at home, still in high school. I had the youngest one was a toddler then, and the next one was a preschooler. I also had our youngest son's girlfriend at the time, now his wife. And then their mommy was in college at the time, getting her prerequisites for EMT services. And her little sister, which is my granddaughter's little aunt. And we gathered in my house this day because I needed to do school with our youngest son. And I'm like, you know what? Y'all come to the house. The girls are here. I can teach y'all something. I got something for us to do. And we were under the 10 limit gathering that you could do because we had 7 people, including me. And y'all, we did this. I turned this into a home economic homeschooling day. And we divided the dough balls up, and Mommy and the littlest one got a dough ball. The next granddaughter got a dough ball. My son got a dough ball. His girlfriend, now wife at the time, got a dough ball. And I got a dough ball. So we all got a dough ball. And y'all, why I didn't think to use the KitchenAid mixer then coloring the dough balls, I don't know. It didn't hit me. Maybe I wanted to do this the hard way so they would learn something and get their hands in it, and it gave us more time, okay, doing it the long way, because I wanted this to be a fun experience, learning experience. And we took each dough ball, we put gloves on, and we colored these dough balls by hand, y'all, kneading them. It was messy, but it was so much fun. My island was full of people, full of dough, full of food coloring, full of flour. Okay, so we're going to take one dough ball at a time. I covered the rest of the dough balls up. Y'all saw them. They handled those dough balls just fine. It wasn't sticky. This dough turned out fine. Same recipe, different day. It turned out better. That's another reason why I included this video in this series, is so y'all could see the difference in your doughs and how everything impacts your baking, especially when baking bread. So I covered the other 5 dough balls up so they don't dry out, and we're taking one dough ball at a time, and we are using the stand mixer this time to color the dough balls. So I think we started out with, I don't know what color we're starting out with first here, y'all. We'll see in a minute. But I didn't want them to get food coloring all over them. I couldn't find the gloves. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do this in the mixer. I don't know why I didn't do this before. But y'all, we had a fun day back in 2020 making rainbow bread. They got schooled that day. We learned time management, life skills, home economics, learned how to bake, learned math because we had to learn how to measure. Well, they learned everything, y'all, that day, and we had so much fun. So we're creating this again this day, and me and my granddaughters have fun in the kitchen. Anytime I'm in the kitchen, they see that I'm fixing to cook or bake something, or I'm fixing to do, what is she doing? I want to help. Okay, grab your stools, and this is just what we do. I use every time as a learning experience. Anytime I'm doing something, I'm going to use it as a teaching experience and teach, and they can learn. That's how my boys learn. I don't care if we were cleaning. I don't care if we were baking. Oh, it looks like we made red or orange. I can't tell, y'all. I used everything as a teaching and a learning experience. If I thought it was something they might needed to learn, I'd go grab them and say, hey, come here, I want to show you something. That's what I did to my boys, okay? That's how they learned how to clean. That's how they learned how to cook. And, of course, they had chores they had to do, too, so they learned when they did chores. Okay, so let's get back to this dough. We are taking one dough ball at a time. I gave her the first one. Now I'm going to put the second one in there and let the other one get her dough ball ready. So what we got to do is, y'all, after you get them colored with the food coloring, we've got to roll these out into rectangles, okay? Because each dough ball, y'all, has got to be rolled out flat in a rectangle, stacked on top of each other. Then you'll see when we get to the next process. So she's got hers all nice and flat, and we're going to start a stack and start putting them on top of each other. So I've got to do this same process with the remaining 5 dough balls, okay? And you can see they're already starting to rise, so we got to work quick, or proof right there on my cutting board. So we got to work quick, okay? So I'm going to get the granddaughter, I'm going to get her fixed up. But y'all, they're learning science by using the food colors, and we're just going to have fun making this bread. This turned out so good, y'all. But y'all, don't be afraid to get your kids in the kitchen. Even back in 2020 when I was doing this, I mean, the little toddler, we got her on a stool and she still barely fit. The island came to her chin, but y'all, she was game. Orange is next. That was red, obviously, the first time we did. So now we're doing orange. So it's her turn to do a dough ball. I rotate them out, y'all. Your turn. Okay, now it's your turn. Don't be afraid to get kids in the kitchen with y'all. This is how they learn. You're starting them out. Are you going to make a mess? Yes, you're going to make a mess. And you're going to have to clean it up. But y'all, even in the messy process, they're learning, they're having fun, they're learning skills, they're learning. Back in 2020, or even when they were little back in, y'all, I'd get them in a bumbo seat. They'd graduate to a high chair. Y'all, they were learning mobility with their hands, hand-eye coordination. Y'all, so many life lessons and skills can be taught just in your kitchen. All those years of playing with Play-Doh got them ready to do this right here, rolling out dough. Okay? There's days I sat at the table with them just playing in Play-Doh, and it got them ready for days like today. Look at her, just getting that flour and sprinkling all over everything. I'm still teaching, I'm still instructing. Okay? Y'all, it got them ready for days like today, and days when they were finally able to do this. So don't be afraid to get your kids in the kitchen. Yes, you're going to make a mess, and yes, they learn. They help me clean up when we're done. They're learning cleanup skills. They're learning responsibility. They're learning, okay, I made a mess, I got to clean it up. Okay, and I tell them, you know what? One day you're going to have your own kitchen. You're going to be cooking for your own family. You're going to have to clean up. And I tell them, get your kids in the kitchen to help clean up. They get the broom out, they get the dustpan, or they get the vacuum. One will help me clean the floor. The other one will wipe the counters. And if we've got some things that we can't put in the dishwasher at the moment, I got one that loves to wash dishes. She loves playing in that water. So I'll have one on floor duty, one on dishwashing duty, and they love it. Okay? Get your kids in the kitchen with you. You will thank me later. You don't want to handicap your kids for when they get out in the real world, y'all. You can't follow them to college. You can't follow them to their house when they get married. You can't follow them to the military. Okay? They thank me still today for teaching them things when they were little. All right? So, we've got some more dough balls to go. We're going to keep repeating this process. Oh, now we're working on blue. Look how that turned out. Y'all, by the time we got done with this, we got so tired. But we're going to repeat this through this whole scenario and go through all these colors. When we get done with all the colors, they love this process this day, y'all. See guys coming in and out of the house, getting water. I think they may have finally got done with some fencing. They had to take a break because it was getting so hot outside. So he may have came in right there resting. He was in the background. And I think our oldest one probably went home because they were spending the day with us today and they weren't ready to go home. Sometimes when he comes to pick them up, they get sad. No, Daddy, we're not ready to go. We want to stay. So, of course. All right, we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're working on the 5th one. The 6th one is mixing in the mixer. So, y'all, we were having to work quick because, y'all, I'm telling you, now was the time when they were wanting to hurry up and rise, okay? And it was doing good. So, you want to get these into a rectangle. Y'all stretch your edges out. Lay them on top of each other. Try to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the 6th one is in the mixer. So, y'all, we had to work quick. So, you're getting these rectangles. Oh, she's doing purple. She loves purple. I love red. The oldest one loves pink. She loves purple. So we got our signature colors. All right, we're working on the last one. We are going to get these in a rectangle, stretch them out to where they're all even. All right, I'm going to be using my Pullman loaf pan. We're going to get it sprayed. And I told you in the next one, I told you in the video before this one that in the next video, I would use my Pullman loaf pan, and here we are. We're going to use it today. And I got it sprayed. Okay. The next step, y'all, when making rainbow bread, after you get all them dough balls colored, and after you stretch them, you get them all together, you get them all layered, you're going to piece them together and you are going to roll them up it like you're rolling up a cinnamon roll loaf. Okay, you want that swirl in the middle to represent the bow in the rainbow. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all something that happened on this particular day. For some reason, y'all, this was a good day for proofing because we rolled this up. We got it in our Pullman loaf pan. We put it in the oven with the oven light on to proof or go through that second rise. And I'm like, you know what? We got a while for this to proof. We're going to give this time. We're just going to go lay down for a few minutes. Y'all, we wound up taking the best nap because this wore us out. The little one woke up first. She ran in that kitchen and wanted to go take an eyeball, take a little sneak peek at our dough. She came running back in that bedroom, y'all, so upset. Gmo, our dough is ruined. Okay, so that triggered my senses. I got up, walked in there real fast and looked at that dough, and y'all, it proofed all right. It was the perfect day for proofing. Let me tell y'all what happened. You remember me telling y'all that sometimes crap happens, life happens, okay? And it can overproof just depending on your conditions. Well, it did. Y'all, we had dough that spilled over in the oven. Let me tell you right quick. I'm taking my Pullman loaf pan and I'm measuring to see how long I need my loaf. We're stretching it to fit the length of the Pullman loaf pan. Okay, now let me get back to my disaster story. Anyway, it proofed just fine, y'all. I looked in that oven. It proofed over the pan. It was drooping down the oven rack, down to the second oven rack, and my granddaughter was just wanting to cry, and I'm like, girl, this ain't no problem. Gma's got this. Y'all, all I did was I scooped out that dough. I did have to scoop it off the Pullman loaf pan because it went like a volcano, y'all. So I did have to scoop it off that pan, gathered up the dough. It came off, pulled off the racks just fine. All I did was, y'all, is gather that dough that overproofed and overspilled, and I just grabbed it. I got that loaf pan out of the oven, grabbed the remaining dough. All I did, y'all, I saved the day. Gma to the rescue. I just grabbed another pan. I scooped up all that dough, kneaded it back together, shaped another loaf, put it in another loaf pan, and y'all, we wound up with
tie-dye on that loaf, because y'all, when I had to knead it and get it back together and shape it again, the colors mixed. So yeah, we wound up with tie-dye. So we're going to stick this in the oven for the second rise, or the proofing, with the oven light on. And then the next clip I think y'all are going to see, I wound up with, there it is, proofing. And I've got the lid on at this time, y'all, for it to proof. And then right when it was beginning to touch, I took that lid off so it could finish. Now, y'all are fixing to see what I'm talking about. Look there, y'all. I had to fix it, okay? Gma to the rescue. I got it fixed. So I'm letting my oven preheat, and we are going to put these back in the oven, and we're going to bake these, y'all, till they're done. I think it's 350, and I think we've got to 25 to 30 minutes, y'all. 35 minutes is how much it bakes at 350. And y'all, I want you to look at these when these come out. Look. I hate that happened on the other loaf, but y'all, Gma to the rescue. You see, even when I put it in that second loaf pan, y'all, it rose again. This dough just kept on rising. All right, we're laying it out. We're letting it cool off. They wanted to tear into it right then, but I told them we couldn't. Finally, we got to slice into this bread, and y'all, it turned out so perfect. We had Nutella toast. We had bologna sandwiches. Even dear hubby Poppy got in there, y'all, and it turned out perfect. Y'all got to give this a try, and I hope y'all have enjoyed this video, enjoyed the picture clips, and I will see y'all in the next one.